Hi, I'm Jack Durish. You're going to have to forgive me here. I'm not feeling too good today. I didn't have a good night last night. I've been reading a book, and it's giving me nightmares. Phantoms of years long ago have been troubling my sleep. And yeah, I guess misery loves company. And that's why I'm going to recommend you read this book too. It really is important. Stay with me. The book I'm reading is The Gathering Storm by Winston Churchill. It's his description of the events that occurred between World War I and World War II. He kept very detailed journals and correspondence and copies of letters he sent and were sent to him, meetings he had. And although he wasn't a member of the innermost workings of the British government during that period, because of his reputation and his standing in the diplomatic community and with leaders of other countries, he was able to stay close to the events. He wasn't really able to impact them until it was too late and they were in the war. And thank God we had him then. Because without Churchill, there's a good chance there would be no Britain today. I think the case might even be made that there wouldn't even be an America today. He was that important. What's really troubling about this book is how closely it mirrors events that are occurring today. Let me give you an example. In the chapter where he deals with the events leading up to the German invasion of Czechoslovakia, which was a major step towards the war, Hitler excused his actions because he said that he was only going into Czechoslovakia to protect the ethnic Germans who lived in that part of Czechoslovakia that bordered on Germany. Now you got to understand, Czechoslovakia was not a real nation. It had been cobbled together after World War I out of a big piece of the old Austro-Hungarian Empire. And yes, some ethnic Germans were in that area that was now known as then known as Czechoslovakia. So there was some truth in his excuse. Unfortunately, he just used that as an excuse to go even further and take the whole nation, because he wanted a buffer between Germany and the western part of Europe so that he could then attack Russia. Now, doesn't that sound a bit like Putin talking about going into the Crimea, invading the Ukraine to protect ethnic Russians that live in that part of the world? Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Putin is Hitler. Hell, at that time, back before World War II, we didn't know Hitler was Hitler. The monster that was Hitler didn't become revealed to us in toto until during the war and after. Another striking similarity in Churchill's book is the description of Neville Chamberlain's policy of disarming France and Britain. He obviously could disarm Britain, and he was coaxing the French to do the same, to set an example for Herr Hitler. Have you heard that before? Does that sound the least bit familiar to what's going on today? That we're disarming America? To set a good example to the Muslims and to the Russians. This is how civilized people should behave. Doesn't anybody remember any of this? I know Reagan read Churchill's book, and he acted on it. Russia fell because Reagan stood up to Russia, to the Soviet Union then. And they couldn't keep up, and they had to give up. That empire collapsed because Reagan stood up to him. I don't know if Obama has read Churchill's book. He is supposed to be the smartest man in the room, right? So if he did, then he must know what he's doing is wrong, at least historically. I don't know. Should I be losing sleep over this? What do you think? Why don't you get a copy of your own? That's The Gathering Storm by Winston Churchill. Read it. Spend a few sleepless nights thinking about it. Then let me know what you think.